Welcome. We are live. It is still technically May, but we're getting really close to the end of the month of 2026. And we are doing our monthly. Usually we do it towards the beginning of the month, but still technically May. So our monthly Lead Without Blame live. My name is Tricia Broderick.
I'm Diana Larsen.
And we co-wrote Lead Without Blame. And we come together once a month for an unscripted conversation a little bit on either the topic that we're extending from our book. Oh, good job. Look at you. I just moved. And the question is, do I have one nearby?
Yeah, I was going to say, you probably don't have it handy, so I'll pull out mine.
I am getting through the boxes. We just moved. I'm less than 2 weeks in. We are getting through the boxes, but I'm realizing I do not have any of my workbooks up here yet. So that's a box I have not gotten to.
Yeah.
I'll have to move it up on the list now. And so we come together once a month for an unscripted kind of conversation on topics related to the book, extension of topics related to the book, and things along those lines. And this month's topic is really tied. When we're coming up with this topic, I was thinking a lot about collaborative connection and how we talk about that being a resilience factor. But a lot of people hear that and they, and ultimately it's some kind of team building, right? Like there's, but people hear team building, they hear trust falls, they hear just not enjoyable things. And so we were intentional with using collaborative connection, right? Working together on something that is helpful, that is productive, but also gives that connection and what that means. And when I was thinking about this month's topic, that was coming into play for me. Like this month's topic of invitation to bloom, like how that plays into collaborative connection, how that actually helps, what that means, and everything along those lines. So I guess if you had to give a sentence or two to describe what invitation to bloom in the workplace means for you, what would come up for you initially?
It's funny because I just thinking about bloom and so on. That old saying about bloom where you're planted kind of thing, came into my mind. And that is a piece of it, I think. It is finding the parts of where you're working, who you're working with, and so on, that you find enriching and that you find that you can build on, that you can grow from. And I mean, for me, it is linked to our essential motivator, co-intelligence, as well. The sense of I can learn from the people, I'm in collective intelligence. As we build trust, I know what I can learn from the people and what I can teach to the people that I'm working with. I have this, whenever I'm involved in a thing, I have this thing that I use called, I'm looking for people who will contribute to the whole and who will benefit from being in the whole. Whether it's a conference event or, whatever it is, you want both of those things to happen, because that's really the blooming, right? You become the blossom, but you're also drawing nutrients from the soil that you're planted in. Right. And so looking around for that. And if you're in rocky, toxic soil, you're probably not going to create quite a great blossom as if you're in really nutritious soil. And so the people that you work with, the environment that you're in, all of those things are important for you to really shine, to do your best. And it is a reciprocal thing. You've got to be kind of, what we're learning from botany and in the biology of botany is that plants not only draw nutrients up, but there are a lot of plants that also contribute things back into the soil for other plants like them, or for other, for just, the surrounding, making the soil better, more fertile. So, I'm going way too far with this analogy, but as I often do.
Time in a row that you've taken a metaphor way more than I even think about it. I'm like, God, I gotta spend more in that creative brain. Like I didn't think about any of
Yeah. Yeah. So anyway, that for me, an invitation to bloom is to look at where can you contribute and where are there your allies? Who can you benefit from? What in the work is fascinating to you and can help you grow in that way? So I'm going to stop there before I get too
Well,
far.
I mean, I think it pulls really in alignment with what comes to mind for me a little bit too is, I think in the workplace, myself included, can get really task oriented, right? And we can
Mhm.
all the competing priorities, all the work that needs to get done. And a lot of times there is insecurities, there's imposter syndrome, there's
Yeah.
fear just in general of failure and or letting somebody down with those things that we've talked in the past about, taking advantage of opportunities. For me, the invitation to bloom a little bit is sometimes like having connections in the workplace that can spot that opportunity when you're so heads down that you don't, right? When
Right.
you don't see it as potential, when you don't understand the full landscape or all the nutrients or everything that's there, right? That because you're so focused, you're trying to get things done that you want to take advantage of opportunities, but you don't always see it. And so that invitation to bloom is that connection going, hey, have you considered this? Like this would be perfect for you, or this might be something right that you've been looking for and you didn't even know it, right? But I see the
Mhm.
potential. And I I like that on so many fronts because there is an element of one, I may just not have even noticed, but two,
Yeah.
on the front of immediately feeling supported, right? And encouraged and
Mhm.
and like seen in terms of your potential, even if you choose not to do it, right? It's the
Mhm.
somebody was thinking of you, somebody was considering it, somebody was trying to make an effort, somebody was engaging with you. And that's the connection for me. And then that becomes reciprocal because again, somebody did that for me, I want to do that for others, right? Or pay it forward in different ways. And I think that's the powerful part for me is that invitation on top of it, like that somebody's taking the time to include, to promote, to encourage for you to shine. Like it's the we
Mhm.
all look good when we lift everybody up kind of dynamic
Yeah.
and versus a scarcity model as me or you and things like that. That's just
Yeah.
a type of environment, especially in the workplace, that I want to be more and more a part of. Right.
Yeah. Yeah. Oh, I love that. And I originally went to okay, how I'm invited to bloom here. How am I going to do that? But invitation to bloom really works both ways. And I like that you brought that in, that it is extending an invitation and receiving the invitation and being prepared for both. I really appreciate your take on that in that way because that's the reciprocity, right? That is, and it's that reciprocity, that mutual trust, that willingness to work together and to help each other shine, that brings about the resilience. Because in on my best day, I'm not going to be well suited for every single opportunity that comes along to my team. It just, there'll be some that I'll be perfect for and
Way to be
others
human.
that
Way
just
to
are
be
not
human.
mine. But knowing that there are other people on my team and that I can, put the spotlight on them and say, yes, let's go for it because I've got confidence in my teammate that we're going to be able to do this. And I can invite them as this is their moment to shine. I think that is what really awesome. I like that. I like that way of thinking about it.
Yeah. And here's like it sounds really selfless to some degree, and I want to own this, right? Like it sounds like, oh, you're just inviting somebody else to shine, right? but I can even in moments when I think about it, I did my appreciation post this month was for Dr. Khadijah Hurst.
Yeah.
And she invited me to her doctoral, like, the right words, her defense
Mhm.
of her position in determining whether she'd become a doctor or not. And I didn't say all the technical correct words. That's not my world, but she invited me to attend virtually this experience, and it was so incredible to experience. And but during it, like when they were deliberating, it was just kind of her and her supporters in the virtual room. She called out that I had invited her to bloom by doing a lightning keynote at or a key lightning talk at Agile 2025. And she did it, and I showed up to speak and everything. And for me, that was I just wanted to see you like be the amazing person you are and get up there and do it. And I
Yeah.
showed up to support it. And actually Christina did, and some other people and stuff. And here's almost a year later, and she's referencing it back, right? And it does cause this deeper connection in the workplace where it doesn't just feel like I'm helping you. It feels truly like that connection, like, and it's lasting. And I don't think we always realize how lasting it is, right? When we
Right.
invite somebody to bloom, when someone invites, the people who have invited me to shine and then supported me while I was shining instead of feeling competitive or jealous or any of
Yeah.
those things. It's like, it's so endearing, and it's so, like grateful, like to the
Mhm.
core of it, that it makes me go, I will go to the ends of the earth for you, right? Like I will
Yeah.
do that. Like I even think, you probably don't even realize this, but it's even in the little bit like, and here I'm going to do this live and see these are unscripted. But after the keynote at Agile 2025, there was this huge long line to do book signing, and I had saved you a spot because I was like, oh, Diana will do book signing, things like that. And when you got there, do you remember what you said? I don't even know, I'm putting you on the spot for a second, but your words to me were, I hope you're enjoying this. I purposely waited because I like, and because you were like, look, yes, they'll get me to sign and things like this, but I want you to have this moment of, you just delivered this keynote,
Yeah.
you just got this long line, like you have this moment. And these are the words that come out of your mouth. And I can't verbatim, but it was like, and I just makes me want to smush you all the time, right? Like on top of how much I already adore and respect you, right? But like that you really were like, look, you've earned this moment.
Yeah.
How do I make sure you get it, right? And
Yeah.
and
Yeah.
and by investing in that, it makes me go, okay, who am I doing that to, right? Like, because that was just,
Yeah.
it was so. Meanwhile, I'm to each person going, I don't know where Diana is. I'm sorry. So he's coming for Diana. You're like, no, 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 they were coming for you, right? And it was
Yeah.
just, it was an incredible moment of that. You didn't even invite, like it wasn't an official invite, right? But it was I'm encouraging the bloom in that
Mhm.
moment. And so I think that's the other angle that I just am realizing right now, is it doesn't even have to be an external, outwardly vocal invitation, but you're still creating the invitation to have somebody bloom.
Yeah. Well, and I think there's something else there, in that I I wasn't created. You bloomed all by yourself. I mean, in that keynote, you were the bloom, right? And I my role was not to go and try to, edge in on your blooming, because I we talked about your keynote in advance, and I knew some things that were going to happen and stuff, but you created that all on your own. And even though, there was basis in Lead Without Blame, that wasn't the Lead Without Blame book. That was your talk. And I wanted people to see that was you. And And if anything, I didn't feel like it was appropriate for me to steal any of the glow, or any, I mean, that was all yours and all you. But I wanted to be there to say, I'm so happy that it went well. I'm so happy for you that you got the recognition that you deserve, and those kinds of things. So there's something about, if anything, the invitation to bloom was me telling the editor, oh, I'd really love to write this book with Tricia. I think that would be great. That's where the invitation, and then all the work that we
Well,
did
that's for
together.
the official invitation, but I think that that's
Yeah.
part of it, is that it's a constant, like, helping me see the blooms, right? Like,
Yeah.
even you saying it, right? Like
Yeah.
I'm like, I can still feel good, right? And things like that. But now the you saying it also blooms a little bit more, right? Like
Yeah.
I'm
Yeah.
smiling even more, right? And I think that's that external lens that we'll tell ourselves too many narratives to always feel or experience the bloom at the levels that we should, right? And so that
Right.
those connections that we have when they have those invitations, and then they continue to help you see the bloom in those
Yes.
moments.
Yes. 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 And it's just so important that the collaborative connection isn't a one-time thing.
Wow.
I think that is another piece of this. The invitation to bloom is a needs to be thought of as a continuing thing. We've now created a relationship where, blooming is what we want to do with and for each other, and supporting each other, and giving each other the invitation comes along with some of the, back to my analogy, some of the nutrition that you need for blooming, right? The touching base. I mean, our determination to touch base every month, even though we live so far apart, is a part of our continued commitment to each other's bloom, right? We want to
Yeah.
make sure that keeps going, not only just because we enjoy each other's company, but because we believe each other deserves that spotlight, deserves that recognition of the, gorgeous flowers that we are, whatever, however we want to think about that. This is my time of year for peonies, roses and peonies, but peonies most of all because they're so short-lived. In Portland, it's called the Rose City, and roses bloom here really virtually all year round. So you can always go out and find some, nice fragrant roses. But peonies are a little more tricky because a lot of people have now planted peonies that have no fragrance. And the fragrance of fragrant peonies is so amazing
I can't
that
smell. I miss all of that.
pardon?
I
You don't
can't
like the
smell.
smell of, oh, you can't
I can't.
smell? Oh, I'm sorry, Tricia.
I
But
know.
yeah, that's one of my joys in life is fragrant
I mean, it
flowers.
comes in
So
handy
yeah.
with a house full of teenagers or
Oh
dogs and
yeah.
things like that. It's
Oh well, that's
constant.
good. Yeah, yeah. Yeah. There's always a
The
silver lining.
upside.
There's always a silver lining. Yeah. But anyway, that for me, this time when I think about blooming, that it's peonies, it's that amazing. I mean, you do have sight, and so you can see that and they don't last long. I mean, it's part of why you see that imagery in a lot of um, cultural backgrounds where they celebrate the ephemeral and the things that only come to really give us a gift for a short time and then fade away, and so that makes that special for me. And and blooming isn't a thing that you do continuously. I
Yeah.
mean, I've got this program now we're calling Thrive in Turbulent Times, and I've been thinking a lot about thriving and how we want to make sure that the people around us have what they need to survive all the time, but we also hope that they get those moments of real thriving, because you don't thrive continuously. It's like, it's like joy. Joy comes and then it goes away, and we have different emotions, and then we get joy again. And that's part of what makes it special. And so for me, this invitation to bloom is really linked to that invitation for thriving. A really beautiful bloom comes from a plant that is really thriving, right? Or from a being that is really thriving. So I'm in my own head, I'm making that connection as well.
Perfect. Well, actually, why don't, in fact, that's one of the areas where people can find you. So you want to give update a little bit about that program and what else you have coming up?
Sure. I don't have a lot. I think I'm going to do a meetup or so for my local Agile PDX user group over the summer. I do have a couple of things in the fall, a couple of conferences that I'll be attending and speaking at there. But the big news is that I have a new program for leaders who are in the throes of unceasing and increasing pace of change, called Thrive in Turbulent Times. And we're beginning to form the founding cohort of that. And I'm very excited about it. And anybody can learn more about it by going to my website, dianalarsen.com/thrive. There's a description there, and you can schedule a call with me if you want to talk about it more.
Nice. For myself, I'm still pretty heavily into X2A right now. We're getting prepared for some announcements and things like that coming up. But I do have a virtual, one of the new product offerings that I'm going to be doing called Vision to Value. So we all build products, but doesn't mean customers love the product, right? And that what makes a product sticky? What makes the product make people want, and where you tell everybody about the product versus, it's good, right? And how do you get to that? No, you must try this product kind of reaction to what you're building. So that Vision to Value virtual offerings in September. You can find that on the X2A, or you can contact me directly. I will be speaking at Agile 2026 this year in July. And I've got some other conferences in the fall, so we'll hold off on those because it's still May and I want to enjoy summer, I think, first. With that. But if there's a topic or anything you're looking for, just let us know. Our next time that we're going to come back together, that one's a horn right behind me. Welcome to my, did you hear the horn? Okay, I was going to say, like,
what
it was like
that?
It was a big.
Was it a fire truck?
No, it wasn't a fire truck. It was like a concrete mixer. But I live near, there's a class of middle schoolers, and they all did the whole like honk your horn. And so, you can't, like, you gotta respond to children with it. But that was like
awesome.
Right behind me. So that was very loud. And Zoom's kind of good about like filtering some things out, but I was like, no way could have filtered that out. So welcome to city life, which makes me happy, but that's one of the side effects of it. So yes, you can catch me on those different areas with that, but we'll be back June 23rd with our next live. Till then.
Bye.